Well, welcome to the first episode of NFL Draft Bust. My name's Andy.
I'm Nick.
Yeah. So, just to give you a little background on what this is it's not just about Draft Bust. You know, we're not going to talk about Ryan Leaf every week.
Jamarcus Russell.
Raider fan.
Biggest draft bust in history.
Quite, maybe the biggest because he is fat.
Yeah.
So
Purple drink.
the purple drink. But this is going to be a podcast about everything football. We're going to talk about college. We're going to talk about the draft, the combine, what players we like, who we hate, favorite teams.
This is our show. We get to do what we want. We'll take anything about it.
We'll take some suggestions.
Yeah. Follow us on Twitter, NFL_draft_bust.
And of course, we have a Facebook page, and we'll post links to Twitter and Facebook in the section below.
All right.
So, to get us started.
Now that you've heard about what we're going to do, we're going to basically go about hot topics of the week. So this week, what just happened in Indianapolis, I think, is a big thing, and that is the NFL Combine. And that bad boy is just, I watch it every year. I nerd out on it. Linemen, running backs, 40-yard dash. It is Rick Eisen running in a suit on a 40-yard dash.
That's all I care about is what did Rich What did he get?
What did Rich Eisen run this year? That is literally the best part. And the crazy thing is, it's where a lot of people show up and where a lot of people fall in the draft spot and everything. And to me, there was quite a few winners and losers this year. I don't know if you watched a lot of it, but
I didn't this year. All I know is that Barkley didn't go.
Yeah, Barkley didn't throw. He's waiting through his pro day.
Going to be the next USC draft bust for sure. You know, adding to the list.
Yeah, Matt Leinart, Marinovic,
Mark Sanchez.
Anyways, one of the big winners, I saw this today, Niles Davis, running back from Arkansas, ran that 40 in 4.37, which is the second best time by a running back, and this man is a burner. He's a great guy. Smaller than Darren McFadden, but I don't know.
What is Mel Kiper?
I don't know where he's at.
Kiper Jr.
I don't know where he's at on his big board, but for the first time since like 86, something crazy, like 20 years, that no running back is projected a first round pick.
I'm trying to think, what quarterback is even projected in that first round?
Geno Smith.
Is that the only one? Not even the guy
to the Raiders.
Not even the guy out of
no, that was one of the losers. Is Mike Glennon, the guy from NC State. Said he looked like Tim Tebow out there, just taking a long, loopy throwback, slow release.
Boy, do I know about a Tim Tebow. Worst player ever.
But yeah, he was one of the big losers. Also, Monte Ball, record setter, NCAA runner, coming out of Wisconsin, could be another Ron Dane. I don't know how that ended. Another big winner. Where's he at? Tavon Austin. This guy is a playmaker out of West Virginia. Some college stats for you. Had 198 all-purpose yards, caught 114 balls, and averaged 8.9 yards per carry. So, but that was in the Big East with West Virginia's offense and Geno Smith throwing to him.
So you think the Raiders are going to get Geno Smith?
You
think they're going to go with the old Al Davis ways and draft the fastest black man there is?
Well, that's obviously not him. Because
I know, but he's a quarterback, and that's what you like.
It's true. But I don't know. I hope not, because there's so many different things that we need. We need an offensive line so bad. But that's why I'm sitting on the couch and not making millions in the Raiders' general office. But yeah, I'm excited for the draft. It's just over a month away.
Yeah,
Radio City Hall.
But I don't know. Who's going to go first? I don't know if it's...
God, what's his name? I think the defensive tackle from Utah, Stan. I don't know. I haven't really started my whole draft diving thing. I usually wait until after the.
By now, you're already
combine
playing fantasy football drafts. No. Well, moving on. Everybody's heard about the great 49er trade. Alex Smith, one of my favorite quarterbacks. Good old Utah Ute, right?
Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
Urban Meyer,
where he came from.
Yep.
going to Kansas City for a second-round pick and then a fourth.
I just heard second.
Well, it's a second, and then in 2014 they get a
fourth.
A selective pick. It's like third or fourth round, whichever one's the
Depending
low.
on it, yeah.
Yeah. Depending on when they land.
Which, I mean, to me is both great for both of them because, I mean, obviously they're going to keep Kaepernick. And I think Andy Reid and Alex Smith in Kansas City, they got to sign Dwayne Bowe because I know...
Need somebody to throw to. I mean, that's it.
It was literally him, Dexter McCluster, and Jamal Charles is...
That's the team.
Finally showing signs of what he was doing 2 years ago after he destroyed his knee, but...
Well, one of the greatest things about Alex Smith is that he's not a game loser. He's a game manager. He's never going to like be the one that lost you the game, you know? Like the 49ers, not this year, but last year, when they were in the playoffs, NFC Championship game, they didn't lose it because of Alex Smith.
Ted Ginn dropped that
it's lost it because of Ted Ginn.
Yeah.
And that's one of the greatest things about him, though. Is that,
and I mean, that's just like Tim Tebow. I don't think Tim Tebow is, I mean, I hate to say this, a gamer, but you can't look at what is on film. And to me, it's almost like Monte Tab. He ran a 4.8 at the combine. But
that's not his full skills, though.
Yeah, but on the field, he's better. I mean,
why Alabama burned him a whole bunch.
Yeah.
But he's still, mentally, you know, he may not be
but
that. I think he would be a great, like, defensive end in the NFL or something like that.
Yeah, he's going to have to play in the middle. He's too small.
You think?
Yeah. I mean, you got to think the defensive end outside linebacker is now Von Miller or Clay Matthews or something like that. A big, bulky linebacker like A.J. Hawk is.
Well, you can think about the Giants.
Yeah, JPP.
Yeah.
He's a freak of nature.
He's huge.
Yeah.
So,
and he runs a 4.6, so
yeah.
he runs down most running backs, which is crazy, but...
One of the best things the 49ers got out of the Alex Smith trade is, of course, they get pretty close picks, the 31st and then the 33rd pick.
Yeah.
So they're going to be, bam, bam, they're going to get two great people.
Yeah.
I think they're probably going to get a cornerback if the Broncos or somebody like that doesn't steal them right before them.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think what the Niners need. I mean,
cornerbacks.
They went to the Super Bowl, and
that's why they lost, though. They lost because of cornerbacks.
It's crazy to think.
They need to get Ted Ginn to stop returning punts. They just need to get somebody else out there. Put one of their 16 running backs they got out there to field something. What, Hunter? They could put Hunter back there to field something.
Yeah.
So, but some more stuff. You know, rumored Matt Castle might get traded to Arizona,
which is huge. That's huge for.
It's huge for Arizona.
Yeah, it's huge for the great Larry Fitzgerald who's dying down there in Arizona. I feel so bad for he's literally one of the greatest wide receivers to step on a football field.
Bringing Larry Fitzgerald up, I remember a joke that I saw on Twitter that they keep waiting for the day when on NFL that he comes in and beats up Kurt Warner for leaving. You know, because it's like you went to the Super Bowl and then Kurt Warner's gone. Who are you going to get to throw to you? Skelton and Kevin Cobb?
Kevin Cobb. Also on the rumor mill, Matt Flynn getting traded.
But where would he go?
They said the only...
No one's going to give up a whole bunch for him.
They said the only outreach... Kansas City was like the #1 prospect, but of course with Alex Smith going there.
I could see if the Jets would stop having such a boner for Alex or Mark Sanchez.
Yeah.
I could see him doing something to try to get him.
And it was the Jets, because Rex Ryan, you know, he always wants to make a splash. Buffalo... I know that just destroys you and your
Ryan Fitzpatrick. He went to Harvard.
And Jacksonville.
Were we rumored to get Matt Flynn?
Yep.
Well, you got to think.
They said they are all outside reaches and...
Kind of like a far stretch.
Yeah, and...
well, Tavares Jackson is at the Bills, and he just signed another deal.
Is he?
Yeah.
Holy cow. When did he leave?
He got traded from...
Seattle?
Yeah. Last year. So he's the backup for Fitzpatrick.
We got to look at Russell Wilson. I mean, it's just crazy. I just think the game is changing so much where these rookies are coming in and make such...
It's going to the whole play action thing.
Yeah.
You know, that's what Kaepernick is, and Russell Wilson apparently
is a beast.
Thrives on it because he kills everybody. If it's not the interception, it's, you know?
Yeah. But I mean, you got to think, I think Russell Wilson's probably in the best spot out of all, well... I'd say Russell Wilson, RG3, and then Andrew Luck just because of his skill level. I think Kaepernick and then Cam Newton, just off the top of my head, the rookie quarterbacks for second years, because he has Marshawn Lynch.
That helps
it
him out
makes
a lot.
everything better when you could go, hey, what's up, beast mode?
I think Andrew Luck would have had a lot better year if Vic Ballard didn't score his first touchdown like the second to last game of the year.
That awesome cork through dive.
Well, that was a pass.
Oh, that is true.
His first rushing touchdown was like the second to last game of the entire year. And he played, weeks 6 or 7 all the way through?
And I mean, that's what I think, that's the reason why I say RG3 has a better chance, because he has that freak of Alfred Morris behind him, and then Mike Shanahan, the running god.
But apparently, RG3 has the recovery of apparently a man on steroids. But still, I mean, how is he going to be able to play by first week? I don't.
How did Adrian Peterson run for 2,000 yards this year?
How did he miss it by 8?
Exactly.
What was it? 8 or was it?
It was like 8 yards.
Yeah.
I just feel. I'm glad he didn't break it, because Eric Dickerson is very, very underrated for the best running back of all time.
Just wait for Leon Sandcastle.
Good job.
No, but the one thing I was thinking about, like Shanahan was going to screw up that backfield somehow.
He always does.
He'll trade Alfred Morris for a cornerback. That's what he'll do, and then he'll retire.
Look what he did in Denver. He had Terrell Davis, Mike Anderson, who was a fullback on the year before's depth chart, Tatum Bell, Clinton Portis. He just produced 1,000-yard rushers, and I mean, you got to get.
But they all disappeared except TD. He retired or whatever. The rest of them just disappeared.
Yeah, Clinton Portis just played by.
He went to the Redskins and had a handful of good years, and he just
got plagued by injuries. Like, I know he messed his wrist up and his ankle, but I mean, you got to give a lot of credit to.
Where's Tatum Bell? Nowhere. I think Shanahan left. He traded into like Detroit,
the Edmonton Eskimos, probably
somewhere in Canada, perhaps the UFL, Florida, or somewhere.
Yeah, but you got to give a lot of credit to Gary Kubiak, because he was the offense coordinator with all that mess, and look what he did with Adrian Peterson. He was just an average Joe at Tennessee, didn't get drafted, and top 5 running back now.
Give me Arian Foster.
Yeah.
Arian Foster, not Adrian Peterson.
Oh, okay.
I was like, dude, he didn't go to Tennessee.
I'm sorry, I just love his chest.
Was it Jamal Lewis?
My bad.
But we got off onto a little rant there on some of that. But another rumor, Steve Jackson could go to the Falcons.
Yeah, it's huge. With Michael Turner getting cut.
I feel like there's a lot of other teams that could probably use him. Arizona, who uses 16 running backs in a year.
Yeah.
Let me start a different one every game. I mean, there's a ton of people that can use them. Yeah, Beanie Wells, Howling Rolls?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Stevens Howling, whatever it is.
Yeah. They just, everything. But Steven Jackson, I think, would... I don't know. I feel like he'd go to the Falcons to die almost, but...
I mean, everything I read, he wanted to go to a winning team.
Falcons give him the best
because he wants. I mean, that's just like he's just like Larry Fitzgerald. He's been just a workhorse out in St. Louis, and
for years,
forget about him out there.
I mean, he just got hurt, and that was the only thing that kind of threw him off this year.
And I mean, but
I think the best thing I guess St. Louis could ever done was give him the ability to void his contract.
Yeah, I mean, and you got to respect that.
Teams don't do that.
Yeah, because I mean, look what happened to the greatest running back of all time, Barry Sanders. They wouldn't trade him, so he retired.
Yeah, I mean,
he retired at literally his prime.
What, 10 years?
Yeah,
I mean, it was
like 8 or 9 years, something like that. And
he didn't even spend that long in the league.
Yeah, and
but I could see him going so many places. I could see the Packers trying to go after him, but then again, he would go there to never get used because they apparently just toss running backs to the side.
But I think the Packers will draft a running back in the first 3 rounds this year, because I know that's what they. I think if they get a bruiser like Monte Ball,
man, that's all, they want someone to shoot it in 5 yards into the end zone.
I mean, they
want Michael Tolbert.
Yeah, they need the running back that can get 3 yards guaranteed for the third and threes and stuff like that.
Average 2.5 yards a carry for their 5 carries.
And that would make them a Super Bowl contender right there. Just because Aaron Rodgers isn't gonna mess up, but they gotta fix that defense.
What, they lost Woodson?
Yeah, Charles Woodson.
And then the Jennings.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know what's happening.
I know there's so many people that got released in the past
week.
Yeah,
not even like a month. It's like in a week.
Yeah,
and then restructuring contracts, which leads us to their next topic about salary cap.
Yeah, salary cap got bumped up
Another $3 million.
Yeah, 123 something from 120. And
then you got the Cowboys and the
Cowboys.
The Redskins are both like hurting because they got docked the points by Mr. Good old Goodell. But the Cowboys restructured what contracts?
Marcus Ware, Jason Witten, and they are working on Miles Austin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
I know they restructured one of the cornerbacks. I don't know.
Yeah,
there's so many of those. I don't know their names.
God, they're so old. Terrence Newman. I feel like he's been playing football since I was like 3. But that's just like Tom Brady this year. Mark Sanchez is going to make more money than Tom Brady this year throwing a football.
Well, Kevin Cobb makes more than like 16 quarterbacks in the league. And
and he doesn't
starting quarterbacks in the league. And he doesn't even play. He's
that's just like
holder.
Matt Flynn. Matt Flynn had one great game against a shitty defense.
He gets a huge contract with Seattle.
And
doesn't even see a game.
Yeah, and Russell Wilson beats him out in
that makes you think though that
preseason.
The Dolphins were going after him pretty hard before he went too. And
I mean, Ryan Tannehill did pretty decent down there.
That's a surprise too.
Yeah,
I didn't think Tannehill was going to do hardly anything.
I think that's a lot of Joe Philbin, whatever his name is, the offense coordinator down there. I think it helped out a lot because I mean he did walk
Hartline.
Yeah,
I mean that.
Yeah, where did he come from?
Hartline.
And even
teams got beat week after week by Hartline, pretty much.
And Reggie Bush, surprisingly,
he was like a flood.
Yeah, he was like,
let me rush for a whole bunch and 6 touchdowns, and the next week let me get 2 yards, and then nothing.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I think this next because the Alex Smith trade doesn't go through till like March 12th officially. But I think there's going to be a lot of off-season action this year that we just
there's going to be a ton.
Seeing, yeah.
I mean, we're already seeing right now restructured contracts. People are giving away money.
Yeah, and they're cutting these veterans. Kyle Van Bosch got cut, and the reason why? Age.
He'll go somewhere.
Yeah, Kyle Van Bosch was.
He may go to the retirement home in the NFL.
Yeah,
the Raiders. Yeah.
Everybody goes to Oakland. The last 3 years of their career, except Randy Moss.
They should have been the last 3 years of his career. He went to 3 years after death of his career and keep playing.
Hey man, don't dog him. He went to New England after that and destroyed.
Well, not only New England, but then he went back to the Vikings, and went to the Titans, and then he got cut and went to San Francisco,
and then retired.
Retired, came back to San Francisco.
Oh man, that was awesome.
I'm surprised that he's still playing and Terrell Owens is not.
Terrell Owens is just a plague. That's all it is, and it's so sad because as a mock alum, I love you, T.O. You're the man.
UTC.
Yep. Go Mocs. But he's literally just that, and that's what's so sad is that him and Randy Moss are just they're so similar because they could have just literally blown up with T.O. and Donovan McNabb in Philadelphia. Look what happened to that.
They could have won a Super Bowl if he hadn't got hurt. They really could have.
And
Donovan McNabb probably would have retired and not fluttered through the system and had a terrible ending.
And you got to think the crazy thing is that he destroyed his ankle in that horse collar tackle and that it was like this divisional playoffs, and came back and played in the Super Bowl. Had a pretty decent game, but if he would have just shut up, and I mean, I know that's rude to say, but
if he had never played for the Austin Wranglers, or the Dallas Wranglers, whatever.
And I mean, if he just would have just sucked up his pride, he would have done good. And then the Tom Brady Randy Moss combo, that
could have been so much better.
Yeah,
so, it really could.
I mean, look what happened the year that they did work together.
And they had Deion Branch last year too.
They went undefeated.
Yeah, I mean, that's something where Ocho Cinco disappeared too.
Yeah,
which I figured he'd still be playing right now. He was the best of him and T.O. He was the best.
Yeah, that is true.
So, but Carson Palmer ruined that one, I think.
I just don't understand how Martin Lewis has a job still. That's finally Norv Turner got fired. I've been calling that for 3 years.
The man who ruined Philip Rivers' career, pretty much.
Yep.
Single-handedly made Philip Rivers almost into a draft bust, in my opinion. Almost.
Yeah, he was climbing up that. I mean,
he could regain. He could not be a draft bust if he turns into the next Vinny Testaverde.
Kurt Warner.
Oh, Kurt Warner, AFL alum, man. He would
bagging groceries to
Yeah, I mean, he played in the AFL for
like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, 3 or 4 something. It was actually pretty good in the AFL, and then just got called up.
Yeah,
Super Bowl a couple years after.
But he lost to the great, powerful Tom Brady.
I guess as far as this draft bust episode go, I don't know if we got too much more to talk about because me and him can babble on for the next 7 hours.
Yeah,
talking about random facts.
Oh, you guys aren't ready to sleep tonight because we're gonna keep going. We're gonna post the after video.
There'll be even longer version, extended cut,
director's cut.
Director's cut. You got it. But we plan on having these weekly. Probably every Wednesday. Probably get posted on Thursdays.
Yeah, I would say post on Friday just to be safe.
Post on Fridays for the weekends.
Yeah.
Give somebody some time to edit something so it doesn't come over looking like a 5th grader did. Which is probably going to happen at some point because I'll probably be drunk.
He is the tech guy. This guy. And the brains and the butte. Tech guy.
Hey, like that, right? But we plan on having them weekly. Definitely, you can shoot us comments. Hit us on Facebook, Twitter. We'll probably be tweeting all the time.
30 days up till draft day. We're going to count down to 30 draft busts. I know it's
we're going to try to do the top draft bust of all 32 teams throughout time. Some of them may not be true draft busts. They may just be drafts in which people screwed up on, such as Tampa Bay and Walter Payton.
I mean, you got to look at what the Raiders did. They drafted Jamarcus Russell over Megatron.
They also drafted Terrell Pryor in the supplemental draft.
In the 3rd round.
So, yeah. How many draft picks they got this year? 1?
No, they got like 3 or 4 this year. They only had...
Last year they didn't have hardly any.
They had like 4 that the NFL gave to them. They gave them a 3rd round pick.
But it looks interesting. We'll have some more stuff next week. We'll have a little bit more about the Combine probably. Of course, there's going to be a ton of rumors going around, and we'll try to hammer those down.
Yeah. But I mean, leading up to the draft, it really is going to be draft bust and draft central, just because probably everybody's talking about it. We could go 1 week just talk about Todd McShay and his dumb ass, and then we can go about Mel Kiper, where I think Mel Kiper literally pops out his big board and teams go, "That's who I'm going to draft because Mel Kiper tells me to."
Unless you're the Raiders, and then you just draft whoever has the fastest 40
and then they just throw darts at people and draft Darius Hayward-Bay over. God, who was
it? All right. You didn't take Tim Tebow in the 1st round, but you had a lot worse picks than that too, because he actually took us to a playoff game
and won, beat the Steelers. Shout out to Andy Womack.
Yeah, Steelers, not a very good team.
Yeah, not at all. They're old. That's a new retirement home.
Hey, did you know why Ben Roethlisberger wears number 7? Because his favorite player is John Elway.
Buck-tooth bastard. But yeah, weekly we're going to have, every now and then, probably once or twice a month, we're going to have guests on here, so it's not just us, so you don't get tired of us. And yeah, really, It's not guests, it's our friends. So it's not like we're going to be like, "Oh, sup, T.O.?" Sit down next to him. I mean, but
one day we'll try to get B.J. Coleman in here. UTC alum again.
UTC.
Backup quarterback for the Packers.
Yep.
So maybe we can get some connections and get somebody semi-famous-ish, maybe.
Yeah.
But until next week.
Have a good one, guys.
Yeah, NFL Draft Bust.